It was a heavy afternoon in Newcastle, one of those days when the grey sky seems to weigh down on the streets and every conversation in the pubs carries a hint of suspense. The tables at St. James Park were surrounded by curious eyes, and whispers suggested that something big was happening behind the scenes. No one knew exactly what, but everyone was certain it wasn't just another transfer rumor. There was an air of anticipation, as if an unexpected move could change the course of the season. Between one pint and another, disconnected comments arose, but with a common thread: Newcastle was about to surprise. This wasn't just any signing or a simple squad replacement. What was coming seemed to involve strategy, opportunity, and even a touch of daring. It was the kind of situation where a deal forms quietly and suddenly explodes across the headlines. And if you follow our channel, you know this is where you get the inside scoop before anyone else. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now and don't miss any details of these stories that stir the hearts of fans. In the club's inner corridors, few had access to the full information, but reliable sources confirmed that advanced talks were taking place. This wasn't tabloid gossip. It was real negotiation, the kind that requires precision behind the scenes and quick decisions to avoid missing the opportunity. For many, the move was risky. For others, it was a unique chance at the right moment. Clues were few, but the expected impact was huge. And, as with any good behind-the-scenes story, there was also the dramatic side. Another Premier League club, a heavyweight rival, was involved in the plot. But contrary to what one might think, it wasn't a direct competition for the signing. In fact, that rival's situation had become the opening Newcastle needed to act. And this is the kind of twists fans love to follow. Once again, a reminder: subscribe so you don't miss the moment these stories are confirmed and to track every step of this transfer saga. The big revelation came with force. Newcastle United reached a full agreement to sign Jacob Ramsey, the Aston Villa midfielder and left-winger, after decisive progress in negotiations. The news was confirmed by the respected journalist David Ornstein of The Athletic, who revealed the deal was closed for an initial £39 million, with an additional £5 million in hard Turkish add-ons. According to Ornstein, Aston Villa were forced to sell Ramsey to comply with Premier League squad cost rules SCR and UEFA's financial fair play regulations FIR. Ramsey, 24, is one of the most valued talents at Villa Park, having played 167 matches, scored 17 goals, and provided 19 assists, a product of the club's academy. He has always been seen as central to Aston Villa's future, but financial pressure prevailed. Sources indicate Newcastle outbid competitors such as West Ham United, becoming the player's preferred destination. This factor, combined with the ability to offer a solid sporting project, was decisive in sealing the agreement. The news gained further momentum when Fabrizio Romano, another heavyweight in transfer journalism, confirmed the move with his characteristic "here we go." In a social media post, Romano wrote, "Jacob Ramsey to Newcastle, here we go. £40 million deal with Aston Villa." He also revealed that the player had agreed personal terms and was travelling for medical examinations. According to Romano, Ramsey made a point of choosing Newcastle as the next step in his career. With the signing practically completed, Ramsey will become the fifth addition to the Magpie squad this summer, joining Anthony Elanga, Aaron Ramsdale, Malik Theo, and young Antonino Cordero. The reinforcement arrives to provide more depth to the attacking sector, especially in matches where tactical variation will be key. However, Newcastle does not intend to stop there. Sources close to the club indicate the board is pushing to also complete the signing of Brentford forward Yoane Wissa. Amid uncertainty surrounding Alexander Isak's future, another name still on the radar is Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson. According to Dean Jones of Team Talk, Newcastle are seriously considering signing to forwards this window if Isak leaves the club, especially following Callum Wilson's departure. This move reinforces the aim of keeping the squad competitive and ready for the season's challenges, both in the Premier League and European competitions. If you want to follow each update of these negotiations in real time, subscribing to the channel now is worth it, so you won't miss when these stories become reality. The Jacob Ramsey deal is not just a signing, it's a strategic move. Taking advantage of Aston Villa's financial need to strengthen the squad with a young, versatile player with Premier League experience shows Newcastle is acting intelligently in the market. Moreover, it's a clear demonstration that the club intends to continue growing and consolidating among the top teams. As negotiations progressed, a quiet sense of euphoria took hold among Newcastle fans. On forums, WhatsApp groups, and social media, messages multiplied. Some were already imagining Ramsey wearing black and white, others calculating how his arrival could impact the team's playing style. It wasn't just about numbers or statistics. It was about imagining the moment the player crosses the St. James Park pitch line, with the entire stadium singing. And if you want to be the first to see these incredible moments in detail, subscribe to the channel. This is where the stories come to life before anywhere else. Behind the scenes, reports indicated Eddie Howe was closely monitoring every step of the negotiation. The manager, who values a versatile and competitive squad, had seen in Ramsey a player capable of providing tactical depth, able to operate both as a creative midfielder and on the left wing. This flexibility is particularly valuable in a season promising a packed schedule, with the Premier League, domestic cups, and European challenges. Signing a player of this profile is almost like gaining two reinforcements in one. Meanwhile, on Aston Villa's side, the decision to sell Ramsey was not easy. Sources close to the club confirmed that manager Unai Emery had tried to find alternatives to avoid the departure. But financial reality was relentless. Complying with squad cost rules and European profit regulations became a priority, even if it meant letting go of a homegrown talent. It's the harsh reality of an increasingly regulated and competitive football world, where financial planning is as important as talent on the pitch. With the scenario practically set, Newcastle United is preparing to welcome Jacob Ramsey as their newest signing. In a move that goes far beyond a simple market transaction, it proves that the club today knows how to identify opportunities, act swiftly, and position itself as one of the most attractive destinations in English football. Ramsey's choice, leaving a consolidated project at Aston Villa to wear the black and white, reinforces that St. James Park is not just a stadium. It is a stage where great stories are written. Now, all that remains is the anticipation for the official announcement and the moment Jacob Ramsey steps onto the pitch as a Magpie. This is the kind of chapter that marks an era, and you'll want to be there to follow everything, from the press conference to his first minutes in the club's shirt. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now to avoid missing any detail. Newcastle is writing a new page in its history, and this is just the beginning.